Hey guys, Phil here. Um, yeah, I know it's not Friday. I missed that at this point. But hey, you know, it's here anyways. I've got it up now. Um, so yeah, not that not that you guys are gonna want to hear it um, necessarily, because oh boy, because today is one of those things that you know I can say it, but you don't want to hear it. And you're probably not going to do it either. So, part of me doesn't even know why I'm making this one. Because if you're not going to listen, you're not going to do anything. And what's the point, right? um, yeah, so, look, guys, hell, I don't even know how to say this right. Okay, so, I've talked about some of this before, and I know that there's a path that we could take here that just goes straight down the blog post. I get that. I know that it's there because I wrote those, and it's set up. But based on the way that things have been going and just the course of my week, there's not any one particular post that you guys need to hear right now more than another. It's really kind of just a combination of things at this point. And I don't really know how else to put that other than to just give you all of the pieces at once. So I'm going to try to cobble those together and put it together into something that makes sense. Yeah, sorry, it's my fan, whatever, but it's hot tonight, so I don't really care. Anyways, you know, people people lately have they've wanted to come and vent and hash out their stuff, and then get it out there. And then I've had other people lately that have brought something up that could be hashed out or could be talked about, and they don't want to talk about it. So it's like, okay, well, if you don't want to talk about it, then we won't talk about it. But I don't get why you brought it up to begin with if you don't want to talk about it. But for those people that did want to talk about it, whatever it was, um, I'm patient enough to sit and listen and soak it in, and maybe or maybe not necessarily give my own opinion or thought process or suggestion or whatever else may be entailed with that. Excuse me. Yeah, so I did some of that this week, and at first it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a problem. I've done it before. I'm really good at listening. I'll sit there, listen, it's fine. I have no problem with that. Um, but when I sit and listen and you ask me for my opinion and I give you my opinion and my thoughts on something, and then it's kind of up to you to decide which way you're going to go with whatever it is that we're talking about it. Because normally, like, you're coming to me because you're trying to make some sort of decision, or you're trying to work through something and you've got to make a decision about how to work through that, or which direction to go next, or whether you're going to, commit and do something long term, or whatever. There's all different kinds of situations for this, but it all comes down to a decision. But guess what? Phil can't do that for you. I really can't. I'm just here to listen, to give my opinion, but it's not me that is having to make the decision. It's not me necessarily that is trying to work through this. It's you, and that's why you're coming to me, right? Because I'm trying to help you figure this out. But good grief, if you don't actually make the decision, then there's only so much I can do. That's just the way it is. There's only so much I can do. And look, I appreciate that people come to me because they think they can talk to me, and they can, and that they get something out of it, okay? Or at least they say they do, most of the time. That's fine. It's great. All for that. People need somebody to talk to sometimes. But I am so tired of people who talk to me, and when we kind of get to a point where they need to pull the trigger one way or the other. They're still at that point where they haven't mastered their fear of making that decision. But look, if you do nothing, then you stay in the same spot that you're in, or it gets worse because you've done nothing, and it's just continued to go on, whatever it is. But not necessarily in a positive direction. It's obviously already going in a shitty direction because you're trying to figure out a way to change it to make it better, and that's why you've come to me. So if you just leave it as, I don't want to make this decision because it's scary, or because it's complicated, or because, it may hurt me, or, disappoint somebody else. You want me to make the decision, or at least it seems that way, because you just keep seesawing back and forth between the same, handful of options, but you won't commit to one, so you just keep complaining and griping over the situation. But we've already lined out, here, you either do this, or this, and that's the way it is. You have to pick one, but nobody seems to be picking one. Everybody I've talked to is kind of like, well, I don't really want to make that decision. I don't really want to face it. I don't really want to do it. And good Lord, I wish it were that easy. Shit, if it was that easy to just all the time be like, oh, well, I have this daunting, situation that is complicated and it's stressing me out. And the easiest, the way to fix it and move in some direction is to make a decision. But instead of doing that, I will sit here and worry about whether people will like me for making that decision, or how things will turn out once I make that decision. But I don't even know, necessarily every little detail that's going to come along the way once I make that decision. Sure, I know the big picture stuff, but I have no fucking clue about the rest of it that's going to come afterwards. But I still can't make the decision because I'm paralyzed by fear, and it's debilitating, okay? Literally, that is a disability. It's debilitating fear. If you have to have, and I know I'm about to say this until I'm blue in the face. I might as well get a blue marker and color my face blue, because I've said this so many freaking times by now. But I will say it again because nobody is paying attention to this line or this part. If you are going to make a decision to do something with your life, you have to do two things. A, you have to commit fully to doing whatever it is, whether you want to do it or not. If you need to do it and you're trying to commit to it, it must be a full commitment. Two, if you're making a decision, there had damn well better be a bigger reason than just, I want to make money, I want to buy a lot of crap, and I want people to like me. There had better be a bigger reason than that for you to make these major decisions, or else it will not work. How many times do I have to say that before people start actually understanding that? Otherwise, if you don't have that, then you stay stuck in that debilitating fear, and you'll never get out of it, and you'll never make the decision. Or if you do make a decision, it'll be made by somebody else for you, and then your life will take a turn that you don't want it to take, but that's because somebody else had more courage than you did to make the call for you, and that's not what we want. It's not what we need either. So if you want to say, yeah, I run my life, somebody else doesn't run my life, I'm not completely dependent on somebody else or something else, then you better find a reason to make those decisions that matters to you more than just the fleeting crap that we can get, because otherwise it's not going to work. And I don't know how many more times I'm going to really be able to say it, as I've already said it so many times in this series and just in general. So at this point, I'm telling you to your face, make a decision, stick with it, go for it. If you can't, then I can't help you, because I'm not in your head, I'm not in your heart. So I can't pull the trigger on that idea or that decision for you, because I can't make your brain click and say, hey, I'm going to do this. All I can do is talk until I'm purple, black, and blue in the face with exhaustion of telling you the same crap over and over and over again until you get it. But I'm getting tired of saying it. I'm really getting tired of saying it. So, if you want to listen and you want to do it, then go do it. If you don't, this is the last time I'm saying it, because people are not getting it. And people are probably gonna complain and be like, oh, well, that's not very inspiring, if you just stop telling people that they can do things. Well, hey, you know what? They have to decide for themselves that they want to do something with their lives that means something that matters. If they can't do that, then I can only live my life one life at a time, and only one ever, because reincarnation's not a thing. So really, it's just one, and I'm me, not you. So if you want to do it, go do it. I'll be happy for you when you do. But if you don't want to do it, if you want to sit in your corner and cry about it and bitch about it for the rest of your life, then I don't know. I really don't know. But I am at a point that I'm just exhausted from trying to get people to understand something as simple as, if you need it, do it. Not if you want it, but if you need it, do it. And nobody will do it because everybody's too freaking scared. So until everybody around here gets over their fears, finds a way to get past those, their fears, their hesitations, and just general cowardice, then I don't know. Maybe we don't need another video until somebody can prove to me that they can do that. Till somebody can prove that they have the gumption to actually do something that's worthwhile, to make that decision that changes their life for the better. Even if they can't see it now, somebody take a leap of faith somewhere. I'm not even going to say please, because it's not for me, it's for you. But I don't need to waste my time talking about it if you're not going to do it. So it's up to you. Do it or don't.